it's written all over my face today. It's definitely, I got a headache, and like it's on both sides, and I took some ibuprofen and I ate some homemade chicken noodle soup with homemade noodles in it. But I still am not sure how great I feel or don't feel right now. So we'll probably keep this one pretty short, and then I'm probably going to go take a nap because I kind of feel like I got hit by a freight train today. I kind of look like it too. Sorry. Cheers, everybody, to a weird Wednesday full of rocks and great things and friends. Oh, if you just watched the meteorite myth video, please let me know in the comments right now, what was your favorite meteorite myth? What was your favorite part of the show? And I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab JT's rocks while you guys leave me that chat. Oh, well, thank you, Chubby Hubby. Now we know that Chubby Hubby is really good at telling fibs and white lies. I got some rocks from an estate sale, Opal guy. He he he. Very punny joke there in the chat. So yeah, cheers to Wednesday. Cheers to estate sale rocks and meteorite myths that I wish would burn up upon re-entry into my inbox and my newsfeed. So yeah, JT. I've known JT for years, and I never knew that he liked rocks, or I guess a bucket of rocks doesn't necessarily make a guy a rock hound or a rock enthusiast, but he did in fact have a bucket of rocks. I knew that there were, hey, Candy and Chubby Hubby and Opal Guy and Brian and everyone who's here today. Lava, good to see everybody. Anyway, he did have like a really cool petrified wood that he left out by the front door. Rick Rock's here again. And I kind of had my eye on that one, for a long time. He had a yard sale a few years ago, and I remember walking by it like, yo, man, what you doing with this pet wood over here? And that is one of the one few things that he did want to take back. It's like Arizona, Alabama, Arkansas. It's one of them A states. The big pet wood is one thing that he did decide to take back with him, and he couldn't leave it here. So, but there was a whole bucket of other stuff that he didn't want to take with him. That they wouldn't even let me and Lava give him any money for it. They were like, no, you guys do a lot here, and so take the rocks and thank you. But so I got a free bucket of rocks from an estate sale the other day, and there's some fun stuff in there. So we'll jump on in. Hello, Romania. Good to see you. And Kentucky's here again. And he says that his favorite part was the meteorites are burning hot. No, you're right on time, Romania. We're just getting started. So, yeah, if you didn't catch that video, be sure to go back and watch it. Like I say, I didn't make all of that up. I didn't make all of that up all by myself. I'm not that creative. Anyway, so I think without further ado, we can turn around and have a look at some of these. And it might be, like I say, kind of a little bit shorter episode. You could see it. Like, I did not get enough sleep last night. All right. We'll start with the big one first. How's that sound? So obviously just a big chunk up late making the tinfoil hat. Yes, I was. And I agree. Rocks are far more important than sleep. I'm really not sure what type of obsidian this is. I see a pink, but I think it's just, yeah, it's that reflecting off there, so. Exactly. Rocky Mountain Bear says, you mean meteorites don't be leaving the ground all burning hot like it's being fed by a propane tank? Well, I'll be Hollywood light again. No, for real. Hollywood and the Slop AI accounts and all of that, they've really got some serious explaining to do. Again, it's no one's fault for believing that stuff, you know. It's no one's fault for thinking some of those myths are true. It really boils down to, you know, fear and lack of education, right? So it is a big old piece of glass. Yeah. There's another one in here too. Let's see if I can pick it out of here. Oh, it's down on the bottom, of course. I got it. There's another obsidian. And again, I have no idea. Is it, you know, just basic obsidian, but. So yeah, hopefully hey YouTube, hopefully I made a video that is funny, but also, you know, hits the spots and proves the points and makes the science make sense, right? Fear and lack of education are Brian's strong points. Rufo says it's fun to entertain certain things, so people entertain extreme ideas and when they're uneducated on the matter. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing of it is, like, I actually think that the science is way cooler than anything, you know, any of the speculations or myths are. So I love this. This is beautiful. Guys, call this banded jasper or banded chert? I'd call it a chert, but maybe some wouldn't. I love it. Oh my God, I love it. Absolutely adore this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, I knew JT for all those years. Never knew that he had a bucket of rocks kicking around his place. I know, this has definitely got to get cut for sure. I just haven't decided exactly how I want to go about that, or it would probably already be in the saw. If you can't blind them with science, then baffle them with bull. Right? And the only difference between science and screwing around is writing it down. You know what, Bear? Maybe, but I think it's probably just a jasper or a banded chert or something. But you're not wrong. There's a good looking agate. Look at the band in that bad boy. You know that's going to be pretty. And I think a lot of this, minus the obsidian and a couple pieces that look very local, I think that a lot of this is probably Yellowstone River stuff. Awesome. Thanks, Rufo. Yeah, tomato. Yeah, for sure. Look, it's just so clear right there and then dark down below. Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is that the damn echo chamber is full of people shouting stuff that really is nonsense and silly and, you know, can be proven with a Geiger counter and a blowtorch, you know, and they don't take the time to stop and think about it, think about the actual science. And so they shout into the echo chamber too. And before you know it, you know, somebody who really doesn't know and goes looking for good information stumble into this echo chamber and see all these people shouting the same thing, and then they honestly believe that that's factual truth, and you know, they've been severely misled. So it's anytime that I can get some good information out there, the real information, the right information. I know it doesn't solve all the world's problems, but you know, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Oh, there's some cool stuff in here. I gotta read this. Yeah, I know, Rufo. There's a lot of that out there. There's so much of that out there. Just, wow. You know, and like I say, you would, you know, maybe not believe some of that stuff, but in all honesty, some of the little myths and misconceptions that I touched on are mild compared to some of the stuff that literally is being blasted out into the echo chamber right now. So, yeah, I'm glad it's not my job to touch on some of those other conspiracies and ideas and things, but yeah, right, YouTube. There's some kind of yellow paint on here. I did try to scrub it off. That's some good ass yellow paint because it ain't going nowhere. But that's okay. We can tumble it off, I'm sure. We'll cut it and tumble it or something, you know. That's a mighty, mighty chunk. Here's another big chunk. It's so loud in them chambers. You do, for real. Rick Rock? I sure might be. Like I say, I'm glad that's not my department to have to touch on. I can tackle the meteorite myths. I can do that. There's real science and stuff behind a lot of that, and I can get my head around that. Look at that fat boy. Look, he's got a couple pet rocks. And look, like a mammillary bot. Big old bumps. Yeah, there it is again. I love that. I love the great big bumpy bots. That is one heck of a hunk of Montana agate right there. Heck of a hunk. It's so hunky. What is this? Oh, I actually don't know what this is, but like, hello there, just one more rock. But it looked like pseudomorphy kinda, you know, like, look at all the linear striations in there. So I just, you know, I thought I'd keep it, have a closer look at it, inspect it a little, check it out. I don't know what it is. It's a mystery. I did. This is cool. Yeah, that's what I said, Bear. Mammillary bots. You know, the big bots. Yeah, so JT did officially get packed up and moved out of town, back down south somewhere with his family, his closer family. And they told Lava and I before they left that, you know, help yourself to any of the rocks that you find on the property that are left, you know. There's, I think, a pile, and it might not be any good, but it might be, so maybe we should go have a look one of these nicer days before we get locked into 40 below and buried in the snow. These could be iris agate. You know, maybe one or two could. This, I think, is this a limb cast, though? It kind of looks like a limb cast to me. So, yeah, you never know. The iris tends to happen when you get more like the quartz stuff going on in them, but you never know. Hey there, Josh. Welcome. Tara, welcome. The bear is so immature. He's still immature. Yeah, it definitely was screaming limcast. What's this? This is great. Look at this conglomerate. This awesome conglomerate. Oh my God, chubby hubby. And thank you, Josh. I'm going to ring the bell for Josh. Yeah, I love that. I love that joke that Chubby Hubby just told us. I gotta retell it, in fact. He said it's October. It's okay to play with your boobies. Boo, get it? Mm-hmm. I love it. Hey, Jeff. Glad you could stop in. Yeah, Josh, thank you so much. You're the bee's knees, man. If you didn't get a chance, Josh, to watch my myth busting video about meteorites, you should definitely go back and watch it. There's opportunities and availabilities for screenshots and blackmail, like, all over in that video. I probably shouldn't be allowed to hang out with myself quite as much as I do, because I crack myself up and then I come up with weird stuff like that. And I was telling Lava Bison this morning, I was like, yeah, I hope it's not too much. And he's like, it's the internet. It's a little hard to be too much on the internet. Look at that thing. Almost looks like a heart. Look at that quartz in there. Holy cow, that's sparkly. I didn't even notice that. I cleaned this rock and did not even see that. Look at that beautiful quartz pocket. Awesome. Yeah, and I won't be here too long today, Ryan. We're just going to look through these rocks and visit a little bit and call it a day here. Ooh, you know, and like, honestly, let me just say that my face and everything doesn't look like it does today just from editing one video, by the way. There is a video that is already loaded onto YouTube. It's just set in the back in private, and it'll come out on the 25th. There is another video that I finished editing yesterday and is loaded and sitting in the back on the back burner on private, and it's my Heart for Rocks video. So I edited literally until my brain wanted to melt yesterday, and I am dealing with the brain melt hangover today. So, but I am like kind of ahead of the schedule. So, yay me! And let me just gently joust you, gently remind you that if you haven't worked on your project for your Heart for Rocks for Katie did, you should probably do that, because this community is full of awesome hearts and awesome rocks. And I say it all the time here. I even said it in the chat today with YouTube, you know, kids are awesome. Kids are great. And we're all on this adventure together. But guess what? They're right behind us. They're going to be the next group that's doing this, you know. They're going to be us in a few years. The, you know, getting slightly older but still adventuring group. And let's give them a good foundation, you know. Let's give them the shoulders of giants to stand on. So, you know, a simple donation, a little project that I did that I can donate to an auction, and the proceeds go to a girls' geology camp. Oh, man, I'm all about that. Kate, you rock. Thank you for giving us all an opportunity to give back, to pay it forward, especially to that next generation of rockhounds coming in. Yes, yes, it goes to a girls' geology camp in Washington State, Tara. Yes, or yes, it was Tara that asked that. The proceeds go to a girls' geology camp. And seriously, I mean, what I did for I'm not going to give it away, but what I did for my project isn't necessarily the, you know, most elaborate or most expensive or most dazzling or anything like that. Like, my piece alone is probably not going to single-handedly fund a girl's experience at the geology camp. But you know what? Even if all I can raise is a meal, a lunch, you know, a gas in someone's tank, then that's actually, you know, it's the grain of sand that makes the whole pile, right? So, yes, yep. When you get her done, just mail it on down to Kate, and she'll hold on to everything until the auction day. And then she will host the auction on her channel. And I've been there in years past, and it's absolutely great. There are people there who are donating that don't even want anything from the auction. They just want to donate. You know, there's people there who are truly hoping not only to make a donation, but to, you know, receive a memento of this year's Heart for Rocks. You know, they want to put that something in their collection and in their display case that represents, you know, Heart for Rocks 2024 or Heart for Rocks 2025. So it brings a whole bunch of different people in, and for such a good cause. So I love it. I think Kate's a genius for doing that, and I'm so glad that she invited me to get in on it. All of us, you know. No, it does not have to be a heart. It could be a piece of jewelry. It could be a whole project that you worked on, you know. It could be a specimen piece, a display piece. It could be, you know, a functional piece. It could be anything that she can put into her auction and generate funds for the girls' geology camp. It does not have to be heart related. The goal, though, is that it is rock related. That's cool, Machine. Thank you, Chubby Hubby. Sorry, that wasn't funny, Machine. That would be cool. A cool way to display your rocks, though, in a fish tank. I don't know. You know, keeping rocks is kind of a weird hobby, you know? I mean, like, they get dusty, you gotta clean them, you know? Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. I like that little fossil as well. But in all reality, if they're setting up on the windowsill, you gotta clean them, and if they're in a fish tank, you gotta clean them, so... That's cool. That's a pretty neat one. Seriously, I gotta look at it one more time, the little triangles. I'm blowing my mind, man. No, not really, Tara. Like I say, I knew this gentleman for years. I mean, he's been my neighbor, he's been my friend, he's been my customer, he's been my, you know, my, you know, a local person that I visit with, my friend, you know, my friend even. He's been my friend for a lot of years. And I had no idea that he had a bucket of rocks. Like I say, I knew that he had a really phenomenal piece of pet wood right out by the front door, because he'd walk by it every time he went to visit, you know, and I've pestered him about it a little at a yard sale he had a few years ago, you know. Hey, if you ever want to get rid of that pet wood, man, woohoo, I'd take it from you. And he was pretty adamant then, and still is now, that no. He'll keep his pet wood, thank you very much. And yeah, like I say, he had a stroke a few years ago, and he's had a hard time taking care of himself. It reduced him to walking on a cane. And his mobility is a lot slower and much more difficult than it was many years ago. His speech is super delayed because of it. And so, I mean, he's been toughing it out, you know, kicking around, hanging in there all by himself there for the past handful of years despite that. But Montana's tough, man. And this part of Montana is especially tough. And so it was just, he was ready. It was time, and he was ready to move back down to some of the warmer states with his family and, you know, enjoy some of his later years. So is that painted on there, or is that actually that color? That is actually like super almost metallic. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. So yeah, a living estate sale. He chose to give these to us. He wouldn't even take any money for them. Mr. Chubby Hubby, I picked up a cool trinket too. I picked up a cool trinket from JT's estate sale. Check it out. And yes, it works. Yep, it works, and it's sitting there right next to my official Chubby Hubby cowboy coffee pot. Oh, why did I turn it at my face? I'm gonna look at this rock some more. I'm telling you guys, I got editing hangover. It's so pretty. I might have to set that one aside. That one's mine. I claim this one. The rest of them, though, I should probably sell them before I get emotionally attached to them. Oh, cool. Sorry, let's see, is it FedEx or UPS? FedEx. The FedEx guy's out at the neighbor's house, and so the neighbor's dog is barking. Sorry if you have to hear that right now. It's not as bad right now with all the doors and windows and stuff shut, but yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it. That one's really cool. I have found rocks like this out here before. In fact, we had one like this in a planter that my kid found that looked like Groot. Like, hi, I am Groot. I am Groot. You know, it had like little eyes and everything. Just the perfect Groot shape and everything. But this is not Groot shaped, but pretty cool nonetheless. I have no idea what it is, but I do find them out here once in a while, and they are pretty dang cool. Is it fossils? Now that I look at it on the camera, it almost looks like a little fossils in jasper or something, hey? Anyway, that's kind of a cool little piece. Thank you, Tara, for stopping in. Sharon's here. Hi, Sharon. And hi and bye, Sharon. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, for sure, YouTube. For sure. Yeah, and then like I say, on their way out, and I say they, it's, you know, JT, the guy who had these rocks, and his daughter or his son, I can't remember which way that was. His daughter-in-law and his son, or his son-in-law and his daughter, either way. The family that was up here helping him get loaded up and moved out, like I say, they invited us to go ahead and go through all the rocks that were left on the property when they left, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's literally just like, you know, rocks that he moved because they were in the driveway, or if that's rocks that, you know, could go in this bucket with these. I don't know. So we'll have to go over there and look one of these days. And see if there's anything left over there. His sister? Okay, thank you, Lava, for clearing that up. Yeah, like I say, either way, they wouldn't take any daggone money for any of these rocks. But yet then again, it has been, you know, a bit of a relief for her to know that we're just down the road from JT, and that if he needed anything, he could come knock on the door. You know, to know that we were keeping an eye on if anybody had been in and out of the place when we were driving by. We're looking for tire tracks in the snow that would indicate that there'd been, you know, riff-raff in and out of there when no one was looking and things like that. So I understand, you know, they don't want the rocks. They definitely don't want to haul them across the country with them. And so, you know, if that's the way that they can say thank you, then you know what? I'll take it, you know. Thank you and you're welcome. Look, another rock with a pet rock. Oh, I might have wiggled it just a bit. It does wiggle in there. But it doesn't come out. That's cool. Somebody should adopt this rock. Oh, look, it's got mammillaries on it. Ooh, claim. I'm keeping it. Seriously, that is beautiful. Nature did that, you guys. Nature does some pretty cool stuff. There they are again. The boobies. Hey, James, I don't know if I said hi to you or not. This is a local rock. This is a like feldspar with mica. Quartz with mica. The mica's not showing up for crap on the screen right now. A little bit, I guess. And then, yeah, the feldspar up here is also still very flashy. Kind of a quartz body. Yeah, you know, I cleaned it up. I might as well keep it. The last one here down here, too, is pretty sure that this is a local rock. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a local rock. Plumb full of pyrite. The cool thing about it is, though, is that like the pyrite goes way down into the body of the rock. It doesn't just sit on the top. Yeah, look at it all way down in there. Little bits. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there for just a second because there were 3 enormous slabs and I honestly don't know, were they tiles? Were they like bathroom tiles or were they countertop tiles? I have no idea what the hell they are. Are they literally just like walking path, you know, garden tiles? I don't know what they are. I want to show them to you guys and see if you guys know what they are. Cheers, I had to hydrate. Hello, A3. Oh. Okay. Anybody know what this is? Does anybody have any idea? They're thick. They're super thick. And you can see like some banding in there. They do not like UV or anything fancy. And then there's like this beautiful little yellow agate banding looking stuff, but it's only on one side. Marble? Yeah, I don't know either. See, right? That's what I said. Is it supposed to be some kind of marble countertop? Or is it literally just like a garden stepping stone? Is it soapstone? No, it's harder than that. Maybe not. What is it? Yeah, I can. I've got my debunked right handy. Yeah, what is going on though? It is pretty, I agree. On one side, Jeff. I agree. It is definitely pretty. What in the world is it though? Acid test would tell you a lot. Yeah, it would tell me if it was marble, right? Or like calcite or... I swear like those eyes are just on the surface. I swear. I mean, I could be wrong, but... I have no idea what this is. Like, I really wish I could ask him too, but honestly, even if he was here and I could ask him, I'm not sure that we could ever understand each other enough that I could confidently say. Like I say, his speech really took a wallop with the stroke. And I'm a pretty patient person when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I really can be super patient with somebody who's trying really hard to express themselves and are struggling. Again, he's been my customer. He's been my friend. You know, I've definitely sat and patiently waited for him to get, you know, his words and his, you know, expressions out the best that he can. And then do my very best to interpret what it is he's trying to say. You know, but I just, again, I don't think even if I could ask him that maybe I would know. I love how kind of like green, blue-green it is over here. Man, strokes are no joke. No joke at all. I mean, they're thick, they're chunky slabs. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Does it scratch? Right, I actually, like, because it is so scratched, that was one of my first thoughts. Is it some kind of a, like, soapstone or, you know, pipe stone or something? But it doesn't seem to scratch with my fingernails, so... I don't really have anything else handy to scratch with, unfortunately. But yeah, well, I mean, I guess in all reality, I really don't have to. Oh, Rick, my grandmother did something fierce too. Again, you just got to be patient with some of those people. Like, when they get, you know who they were before, or, you know, sometimes you do. You know, my grandma, I knew my grandma before dementia took her. I knew JT before the stroke. You know, knowing who they are before something like that can help you to anticipate their thoughts and their, you know, what it is that they need or are going to try to say. But still, it just, literally, you can watch somebody who is 10 foot tall and bulletproof be demised to, you know, locked inside their body, you know, unable to speak and move. So it's just, yeah, I mean, they're still there. It's just a little harder to get it out, right? So yeah, I'm super stoked to have his rocks. I don't necessarily have to know what this is to think that it's pretty. You know, to think that I honestly didn't like it at first. It was filthy. It still kind of is on this edge, you know. It was in the bottom of a bucket, And there was God only knows what in the bottom of that bucket. Transmission fluid, nails, dirt, cigarette butts. It all was in the bottom of the bucket with these filthy, filthy, dirty rocks. It was kind of disgusting. Not gonna lie. And when I pulled these out, they were just dirty. Absolutely dirty. And I was like, ew, gross. Some kind of like landscaping rock or some like, I don't know, kitchen tile or something. I kind of set them aside, like, ew. And when I was done washing all of the agates and the, you know, jaspers and the petwoods and everything that I had decided to keep, I think there were only like 3 or 4 rocks in the whole bucket that I was like, those can go in the hole in the alley. But when I was washing it all up and I'd finished and I had my, you know, bucket of filthy water in front of me and a scrub brush, I went ahead and scrubbed these up. And as soon as I started getting the dirt off of them, I was like, oh, hold on a minute. These are actually kind of really pretty. They didn't look it when they came out of the bucket. I almost tossed them out. Seriously, they were pretty dirty and you really couldn't see a whole lot going on. And as soon as I washed up the sides with all the little eyes and stuff in them, I was like, oh, hold on a second. Like, I don't know what they are, but that, like I say, that doesn't stop me from thinking they're pretty. Oh, that sucks, Rick. Yeah. My phone is stuttering worse than me. Yeah, I have no idea what they are, but they're pretty. They're pretty. And I'm sure they've got a point and a purpose to someone's idea, you know, to someone's something that, you know, maybe it'll be my something. Maybe I'll be like, yep, I know exactly what I need that slab for, you know. It's part of my Heart for Rocks project or my Maker's Challenge project, or you just never know when you need a, you know, 1/2-inch thick slab of something pretty. So, yeah, like I say, I'm glad I didn't toss it out. I kind of thought it was junk, dirty junk when I pulled it out of the bucket. But and it might just be junk, but at least it's pretty. So, we'll take it. I'm going to go fill my cup up real quick. Cheers. Best part of waking up is drinking from your Karen cup. I'm going to fill it up and then we'll wrap it up. There wasn't a whole cup left. How sad is that? There's just a teeny tiny little bit left is all. But at least it's piping hot. See the steam? That and it's kind of not very, very warm in here today. It's not bad. It's not bad, just not very warm. I've had the fireplace going non-stop for the last 4 days. So... Oh. That's just what the doctor ordered right now. Man, that hit the spot so much it gave me goosebumps. Oh, my soul needed that. One more. Wow, that's powerful. Just kidding. There's no moldavite in my coffee, okay? I promise. Ah, gosh. Yeah, I needed that. I felt that go straight to that little pain in the back of my eyeballs and in my head and in the back of my neck. Like that editing hangover. Editing hangover. Seriously. I felt that sip of coffee go straight to my editing hangover. I've got this thing. This is like the greatest thing ever, by the way. My base is in the way. We got a show this weekend, so I had practice the other night and a show this weekend, so I'm not putting it away. I'm not putting it away. I'm just gonna leave it right there because I'm gonna take it out in a couple more days. So I made this really cool rice bag, and it's just rice in there, but you put it in the microwave. Oh my God. It's the most amazing thing ever when you've got that stress neck, you know, because you've been editing your screen burnout. This is the, oh my gosh, heaven on earth. It will relax those neck muscles in like no time flat. So I'll probably be using that here in a little bit too. But yeah, I'm doing okay, but man, that was like, oh gosh, like an editing vortex. Oh, seriously. Past few days. Like I say, there's a video coming out on the 25th to celebrate the fall anniversary of 2 Dot, and 2 Dot gets a facelift and gets a a beautiful spot in the meteorite display case. That's too close. There we go. I finished rearranging my display case the other day. Look, there's the YouTube play button meteorite. And my new 2 Dot got a home front and center display with my other Montana meteorites, my Shoto Palisite and my Roundup. So yeah, now I have 2 Dots. I don't know what in the world anybody on the face of this earth is supposed to do with 2 Dots, but that's what I have going on here. There's my Admire that Bear got me, my Mossy, my Gujba, my Mesositerites, down into some cool stuff, down into some witnessed falls, down into some more just some cool stuff that I like, and then blah, 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 round and round, over and over. Anyway, that video for that meteorite comes out on the 25th. It's going to be a good one. You won't want to miss it. And my Heart for Rocks. My Heart for Rocks project is done. It's in this bag. Don't you wish you could see what was in here? You're going to have to wait and see. My project is done and my video is edited and uploaded. So it's just, oh God, the makeup and everything all over my face right now. This is horrible. It's just waiting for it to be just a little bit closer to the date. And then we'll release that video. So, and we'll get that into the mail and get it sent to Kate. So, thank you, Stephen, by the way, and welcome. Oh, that honestly had me way more stressed out than I needed to be about it. I was like, I don't know how I want to arrange these. I've had them in there a certain way, you know, kind of organized chaos, a certain way for a long time. And I've pulled meteorites out to take places with me and show off. I've pulled meteorites out to do videos with. I've done that kind of stuff. And then I kind of got a little bad at putting them back where they belong. And so pretty soon I have just stacks of meteorites, cases and cards, and they're all sliding against each other and grinding around, and they're getting dusty, and the dust is grinding around, and I'm shuffling them from here to there rather than just putting them in there where they go. Until pretty soon I couldn't even, like, there's all these empty spots in the case, and I honestly don't even know where I had the meteorites in there anymore. And so putting them back in there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it right. I'm going to time out, stop. Half of the meteorites aren't even in there right now. So let's just take this opportunity to rearrange, clean them up, dust them off, you know, all that stuff that comes with keeping rocks. Get all the little dead gnats that love the light out of the nooks and crannies and all of that stuff, right? So I just started on one side. I started at the top. I worked my way down. I turned it, you know, to the next rack over, and I started at the top and I worked my way down, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. Probably won't be the last time that I have to rearrange the case. You know, I mean, I'm always adding things, and then I pulled some meteorites out of the case that I thought, oh, you know, like, I'm kind of past that now. That was one of my earlier meteorites, and you know what? Maybe somebody else could love it in their collection for a little while. And I was like, yeah, got this little bag of stuff set aside that I could sell or get rid of or give away or whatever, you know, sell. And then I was like, I set it here, and I went and did some other things, you know, cooked some dinner, did some laundry, all that stuff, ran to the store, whatever. I came back, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. I got some stuff to move out, some stuff to get rid of and go. And then it was like, I could do inlay on that meteorite. And so I took it out of the for sale pile and put it back in the keep pile. And I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah, it sounds like a simple thing, you know. Yeah, I just rearranged the meteorite display case, but it literally was like, it was an all-day thing, and once I finally pulled the trigger, it was an all-day thing. But before that, it was days and days worth of walking by, looking at it, going, how do I arrange them? Do I put them in types, chondrites, achondrites, pallasites, irons, mesos, you know, or do I break them apart like witnessed falls? You know, just ones that are pretty, ones that are here for science, you know. Just all day. Yeah, you were here. You know how long it took me. Once I finally buckled down onto it and got started, and then I kind of tried to stop, like, you know, five meteorites away from the end, and I had to really push myself to just put those last 5 cases in there. Just get it done. I'm so glad I did. Like I say, that's not how I want to take care of my meteorites. I don't want the cases grinding, you know, against each other, and they're, you know, getting bumped, and they're getting tipped over, and they're falling out of the case, and I gotta match them back up to their ID cards, and it's just like, nah, we gotta take better care of them than that. So I like to take better care of them than that. So they're in the case. They're looking great, and Two Dot's got a brand new home. And welcome home, Two Dot. Welcome home, Two Dot. And that video comes out on the 25th, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll probably put the premiere out like the morning for the premiere out the day before, and we can wish Two Dot a welcome home and a happy fall anniversary on the 25th together. And again, my Heart for Rocks project is done. Look at me, ahead of schedule. That never happens. But being ahead of schedule on the Heart for Rocks thing, I promise you put me behind schedule on something else. I promise. I know what it is, I'm just not telling you. So, anyway, it's ready to go, and the video is edited. It's uploaded on YouTube, and it's just waiting for the time to come out. So, yeah. Holy crap. Working on 3 videos in one weekend, and the first half of the week is too many videos. Too many all at once. Oh gosh, it hurts my brain. Seriously. I'm okay. Yeah, things got real goofy there towards the end. It's a good thing I'm done. I was literally over here like, you know, alter ego in myself and stuff, so it's probably a real good thing that we're done. Because I don't think the Prairie Girl could handle much more. Pretty sure she's fried. Out. She's probably making box pizza for dinner tonight. You know. Yeah. Anyway. I hope it's all worth it. I hope you guys truly enjoy all of this, all of the stuff that I come up with and the content that I put out. So I'm kind of guessing that maybe you might, or you probably wouldn't still be here. That, or you're just here to watch the train crash. Oh, you know, YouTube, you can't even get a cheeseburger in this town. There's nowhere here to get one. I'd have to drive 35, 45 miles in one direction to get a cheeseburger. And then 35 to 45 miles back just to get home after I had that cheeseburger. Oh, I take that back. There's a place 20 miles, 10, 15. But, yeah. There ain't no cheeseburgers in Sunburst. There's no fast food here. No fast food here. No Mickey D's, no Pizza Hut, no Taco Hell. None of it. A piece of that stick in my mouth. You can cook your own cheeseburger here. Effing lucky. I mean, I don't mean to brag, but nobody does it quite like I do. I agree, Jeff. It totally has that Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. These ones aren't any better. I figured I wouldn't tell the poor bastard about the bats, that he'd see him soon enough for himself. Here, I got it right here. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that, Jeff. Accidentally end up in Canada looking for cheeseburgers. There probably is a place in Canada that's closer. But you'd have to cross the border, and that's a pain in the ass. I think you might have missed a lot too, Jennifer. Editing 3 videos in a weekend in the first half of the week will fry your brain. That's what you missed. Things are usually pretty goofy around here, all just because, but you add a little sleep deprivation and meteorite myths into the mix, and the next thing you know, you got your tinfoil hat and and an editing hangover. Oh, yeah, I got my medicine right here. I should put it into my coffee. Oh, gosh. Woo! Oh, thank you guys so much for helping me to entertain myself in such a manner. I have, actually, Machine. Our magpies over here will get a little copycatty every once in a while, and they'll sound like cats. Like, literally copycatty. They'll start sounding like the Blue Jays, I guess, maybe. The Blue Jays. And then they have, like, the squeaky gate whistle. Like, sounds like a squeaky gate. I was packing wood for the stove in. Yeah. Oh, boy, there's been some of that, hasn't there, Jennifer? Yeah, Ma. It's, my brain is melted. That's what's happening. Awesome. Yeah, it's time for me too. I gotta go take care of myself a little bit before my meteorite meeting tonight. Like a hot soak and a hot bath. Relax those neck muscles. Oh, a hot wash rig on my face would feel good. So, yeah, and maybe even a little nap. So, anyway, yeah, I fried my brain. Thanks for joining me on that adventure. And, yeah, I should probably pass some of these estate sale rocks along before I get all emotionally attached to them and can't get rid of them. There's one in the big saw, too, by the way. I put that's what... You guys see the wound? Look, it's so tiny. That's the wound that bled all over the whole entire studio. I was putting an agate in the big saw, and just grabbed the rail to move the, the carriage. And there was a little tiny piece of obsidian sitting on that metal rail, and it stabbed right into my finger. I knew it happened. I was like, ow. And I looked, and there was a little tiny piece of obsidian. And so I pulled it out of my finger, and I made sure that it went down into the oil so that it wouldn't stab me again. And I looked at it, and I even gave it a little squeeze. I was like, are you going to bleed? And it didn't bleed. So I carried on, right? I'm like, nope, not bleeding. Good enough. Good to go. And I'm watching the rock get going, and I'm doing some other things, and I look in there again, and oh, like I've got a cardboard box behind the saw, and sometimes if the box isn't quite at the right angle, it'll hold the bucket up. And I was like, man, this is cutting really, really slow. I wonder why. I mean, I know it's an agate, but it shouldn't be that hard. And I lean over the back, and I look, and the bucket's a little bit hung up, and I straighten out my cardboard box, and I can instantly hear the saw go back to work. And I'm like, oh, there, problem solved. And I reach up, look in the thing again, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, I got a lot of oil. Like, this thing is just puking oil everywhere. Why is there oil dripping off of both ends of this thing? And right about then I was like, oh! It's not oil that's dripping all over the dang studio. It's my own blood. I'm bleeding my own blood all over the whole place. It was on the front of the sides, all dripped on the floor. God only knows where all it is that I haven't discovered yet. But, yeah, grab it. We're going to need to amputate. She's bleeding. But really, Jennifer, does that need a Band-Aid? Does it? For real? No. Come on. Oh, shoot. Yeah. So, but there is a really pretty agate in the saw back there. Now that I'm done bleeding, maybe I can get back to it. Oh, and I did make some more jewelry, by the way. You guys might have saw the short. What is the limit to tiny, tiny stones that I will work with? That's the limit. I will absolutely not go any smaller than that. I will never, ever try that again. That's the limit to how small of a stone I can work with. So, be less dumb, exactly. So, yeah, I've been busy. Get a designer Band-Aid from, I want one that just says, ouch. That's it, just ouch. Bob's welcome. I didn't see you sneak in there. Oh, goodness. They might as well be cool. Exactly, Ma. Neon colors, sassy sayings. I mean, I think Band-Aid's missing a golden opportunity. They should make adult Band-Aids that say, you know, I shouldn't have put my finger there, or, you know, be less dumb. Anyway, like I say, that was a fun video to make. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. You know, do all the things that you do, you know, the likes, the comments, all of that stuff that does the algorithm-y things, because there really are people out there who, again, I'm not picking on them. I'm not making fun of them for believing some of the meteorite myths. They've been misled. Fear and lack of education are Brian's two strongest points. Those are, unfortunately, some of the public's most weakest points. So, yeah, I wanted to shout some truth into the echo chamber. Even if it was slightly funny, I hope that there was at least a little bit of science there. And I hope that it made sense to people who don't necessarily have all of the science in their background to come up with those ideas themselves. So, like, I know you guys get it, and so hopefully it was just funny enough that you guys appreciated the information. But again, there really might be somebody out there who just didn't stop and think about it like that, who just needed to hear a different voice shouting in that echo chamber. So not always my favorite things to talk about, meteorite myths and conspiracy theories and stuff. In fact, I usually avoid it like a plague. But it finds me. It finds its way to my inbox. It finds its way to my, yeah, it's all over the place. And so not just staying quiet and not saying anything at all, it just lets that louder voice be louder than mine, right? So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there, kind of put some of that stuff to bed. I know it's never gonna burn up fully. I know it's gonna always be there, but still, at least, some of that stuff, if you can't laugh about it, it's gonna just make you a little bit insane, which it might already be doing that. That, or I cut some kind of weird sickness off the radioactive meteorites over here that, I mean, that could explain a lot, right? Yeah, well-rounded is a good thing. Ablation's a good thing. All right, anyway, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Steven. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. We will do more fun, interesting, exciting, possibly hilarious, and slightly bizarre things on the channel. So you never know what we're going to do. Be sure to check in on Wednesdays and see what's up. Say hi to all of your friends here in the chat. Lurk while you work. Cheers. All of the fun stuff. Bell rings. Ring-a-ding-dings. The whole 9 yards. The whole 9 yards and the Moldavite too. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's the highlight of my week, and I look forward to seeing you guys here. I'll probably see you around out there in the interwebs. And in the meantime, in a world where you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind of a rockhound. Pretty rocks out on the prairie. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Pretty rocks for us to look at. Pretty rocks are everywhere. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one. And they all are very pretty. And they all are everywhere. All right. Peace, hippies. And boop.